You're watching Swipe. Here's a little taste of what we've got for you on this week's show. Thomas finds out how we could soon be printing our furniture. What? I get a surprise from a tech magician.
Even death won't keep you apart.
And we've got the new video game described as the first of its kind. That's all to come over the next 10 minutes after a quick roundup of some of this week's tech news. Russia and China are tightening internet controls by banning software that could keep users anonymous. Both countries are clamping down on virtual private networks, or VPNs, which can help users to access sites that may have been blocked by their internet providers. Human rights groups have criticised the moves. 4 in 5 UK adults are now binge-watching TV series, with catch-up and streaming services continuing to grow in popularity. That's despite a third saying they lose sleep staying up watching. Ofcom also found young people are watching a third less live TV than they were 7 years ago. And Spotify now has 60 million paying subscribers. It added 10 million in less than 5 months, according to the streaming company, pushing its lead further ahead of rival Apple Music. Stay with us, because still to come, I'll introduce you to one of the first magicians to specialise in manipulating technology, and there's a trick in store for us.
I just want to show you this new iPad. Apple have just sent it to us.
But first, technology and design have gone hand in hand for decades, and this week Thomas has been to meet a team using 3D printing to create household furniture.
3D printing has become part of the everyday. New and more complex techniques are being developed all the time. And it's even in the hands of creatives like 3D artist Grace, who uses the world's first 3D pen, 3Doodler, to create a variety of different objects. But let's think a little bigger. For example, furniture. Could we soon be printing tailor-made couches, tables and desks for our homes? Well, that's the opinion of one team from the architecture school at University College London. They've created this, the Voxel chair. An entire chair created from a single piece of extruded plastic. It's the combination of high-end visual design and cutting-edge technology. The project itself demanded a whole new software program be developed, one exclusively for 3D printing.
For the last 4 years, we've been developing research in plastic extrusion using industrial robots at the UCL Design and Computation Lab. So what we are trying to do is to allow different objects to be inserted in this software, and we are working on how to make it user-friendly and easy to understand.
Although slick-looking, this software is in its early stages of development, but once rolled out, it could allow anyone to visualise and create their own furniture at home. And it doesn't stop there. The software could even be used to take on much larger projects.
The software will allow to materialise things that we just couldn't before. So in a few years from now, I'm imagining larger objects to start appearing, such as walls, pieces of structures.
For now, the Voxel chair remains unique. It's set to go on display as a piece of design history after being bought by the Pompidou Centre in Paris. So could we see a whole Voxel house in the future?
You could have a complete Voxel environment in the near future, yeah.
Watch this space. Thomas Newton, Sky News.
Now, when I say magician, what's the first thing that comes to mind? I bet it's not a smartphone, but some magicians these days are going digital, like Tom London, who's been a contestant on America's Got Talent. I met up with him and I began by asking what it means to be a tech magician.
Have you seen these iPad Pros? There's this really cool new feature Apple just announced the other day. You can just grab things like this. If you give them a wiggle and slide them out, isn't that crazy?
For me, it's about that classic Arthur C. Clarke quote. You know, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So I find there's this magic in technology, advanced technology. It's something impossible can be achieved with tech.
And how did you end up as a tech magician?
I'm a programmer and a coder, so my background's always been tech, it's always been gadgets. So I would see a magic trick, I'd see someone perform some magic, or maybe an illusion, and immediately my mind would work. It would think, how could I do all of that using technology?
One of the biggest complaints people have about technology is when it fails on them. If it fails for you, it ruins the trick. How do you cope?
It happens all the time. It really does. So, I mean, I've been up countless nights before shows, you know, like coding something and it's just not working. And there's this, you know, in the back of your mind that there's a 50% chance it's going to go wrong on the day. So you have to have contingency plans, you know.
Do you want to tell us what your name is, please?
Yeah, Tom London.
You spend a lot of your time in the States because you've been a contestant on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Do you think there are differences in the way Americans compared to British people view technology?
Oh, yeah, entirely. Yes, definitely.
How many millions of records do you think Mel, when she performed the Spice Girls, sold worldwide?
For starters, in America, everywhere you go, there's a television screen. You know, every restaurant you go into, there's like televisions everywhere. I think Americans in general are taught to switch off a bit more when they see screens. Their mind kind of just diverts.
So how does that affect your magic with them?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. My job is to try and direct their attention towards this technology, and their subconscious is telling them to look away.
I want you guys to see this.
A bit more effort with Americans to be like, watch this. Just don't look away, watch it, and then like we're good to go.
I'm really keen to see a trick.
Yeah?
Is there anything you can do for us?
Okay, here's what we'll do. We're going to take a selfie together.
Okay.
But you have to copy me, so like this. Grab your phone, and hands like that. Yeah, and put the hand on that like that. Perfect. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to draw a cross on my thumb like this. Can you see that? I want you to watch the cross very carefully.
Just stare at the cross.
Yeah, I'm just going to pinch it like this. You see it go?
Yeah.
Unlock your phone. See, like if you open up Twitter, I'm verified, so I should be at the top, but you'll see there's a photo that I just tweeted of you.
Oh,
and look,
wow.
Can you see? Show the camera. You've got the cross in your hand, right?
The cross is on my hand.
But here's what's crazy. Look on the back of your hand. Your left hand.
What? Oh my goodness. That's really creepy. How did you make that happen?
It's magic.
Oh my goodness, look. No idea, utterly mind-blowing. Anyway, it's video games time now, and this week Lucy has been back in the studio. Here she is with her pick of the latest releases. Pyre is the latest game from Bastion and Transistor developer Supergiant Games, and it's basically, it's a sport game, but with a lot of characterization and a lot of deep elements that you have to really dig into. You play the game as an exile, and you lead a group of other exiles through this wasteland, and you're basically trying to earn your own freedom, and the way you do that is by participating in these religious rites, which take the form of, it's kind of a simplified version of maybe basketball or football, in that you have to get your glowing orb ball thing into the other team's goal, which sounds very, very simple, but once you get into the game you find that all your different characters, not only do they have their own backstories and different relationships, they have their own abilities that you can use on the field, and if they win, it's basically like Gladiator, you're fighting to earn your freedom.
Who remains?
I definitely think it's really worth a play.
You decide.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is the latest game from a developer called Ninja Theory, who are in Cambridge. And Ninja Theory specialise in these hack and slash games. But what's interesting about Hellblade is the world in which it takes place. So it's kind of this mashup of Celtic and Nordic mythology. And you play as Senua, and it's not just like regular enemies in the world has been tainted by her psychosis, if you will. So all these manifestations, these auditory hallucinations, you get to kind of play that. It's a very interesting look at mental health in games. So the developers have been working closely with people who actually suffer from psychosis, as well as neuroscientists, to make sure that they're giving this really good and accurate representation in this video game. If you go online, you can see how they've developed the game and how they've made it. And one thing they've really focused on is motion capture. So if you go to their YouTube channel or look at any of their trailers, you can see just how well they've managed to capture the actress and put her straight in the game. So if you're looking for something that's action heavy but a little different and with a little bit more of a story to tell, then I definitely recommend Hellblade.
I'm headed in.
Welcome aboard.
Tacoma is the latest game from Fulbright, who specialize in environmentally rich games that require you to walk around and explore your environment, pick up every last item and examine it, and just to sort of tell the story through the environment. Tacoma is really cool because you're a technician and you go to this abandoned space station. But in this space station there is this AI that's been sort of monitoring all the crew and, you know, listening into all their conversations, recording it. But by the time you get there, the crew has been long gone, the space station's abandoned, and you're there to try and fix things up. But the AI has sort of, it recreates the final days of the space station by broadcasting these really colourful holograms. They kind of look like something from Tron. And you live the lives of these characters, and you overhear their conversations, you read their notes, and it's just something that you can take your time to sort of investigate. And if you want to play something a little more low-key, if you want to just relax and play something, then Tacoma is a really engaging story that you can definitely dig into.
That's it for this week's show. Join us again next week for more Swipe, and in the meantime follow us on Twitter at Sky News Swipe, and you can stay up to date with everything we get up to throughout the week. See you again soon. Bye bye.